Of a crash in northern Arizona. We have team coverage.
Sheriff Deaver had a strong stand on border issues. He also defended the state's anti-illegal immigration law, SB 1070. Tonight, we'll break down his legacy and what happens next. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Guy Atchley.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. The Cochise County Sheriff's Department says the sheriff was involved in a single vehicle rollover around 7 o'clock last night near Williams, Arizona. Sheriff
Deaver was a 36-year veteran of the Cochise County Sheriff's Department and was elected sheriff in 1996. He was running unopposed for a 5th term in November's election. He also served on the board of directors of the National Sheriff's Association and was the chairman of that organization's Committee on Immigration and Border Security.
We have team coverage from Sheriff Larry Deaver's home base in Bisbee.
Let's begin with Night on Your Side's Aaron Brackett, who was at a news conference held by the Cochise County Sheriff's Department earlier today.
Yeah, Guy, at that news conference, it was a very solemn atmosphere. About 10 to 12 members of the media and several more officers and deputies were standing in the background very solemnly listening to the information that was being delivered. 60-year-old Larry Deaver, the 4-term Republican sheriff of Cochise County, passed away late Tuesday. According to the Coconino County Sheriff's Office, Deaver was driving his pickup truck on a dirt road near Williams, Arizona last night around 6:30. He lost control and rolled the vehicle, killing him before paramedics arrived. According to the report, Deaver was on the way to a camping and hunting trip with family in the northern part of the state. His death came just 4 days after his 86-year-old mother, Annie Mae Deaver, succumbed to cancer. The St. David native with 34 years of law enforcement experience is known for his tough stance on illegal immigration. He oversaw more than 80 miles of border in Cochise County. Sheriff Deaver said he spent more than 15 years traveling to Washington to bring his perspective on border security. The Cochise County Sheriff has been an outspoken supporter of SB 1070, and his death comes after a U.S. District Court judge dissolved the injunction that prevented the state from enforcing the Show Me Your Papers portion of the law. Today, the department announced Chief Deputy Rodney Rothrock will assume Deaver's duties effective immediately, but the loss is hard to get past.
We worked with the man almost every day for many, many years.
How are you going to remember him?
As a good friend.
Now, coming up at 6, we're going to hear how community leaders county-wide are going to be moving forward after this tragic loss. Live in Bisbee, Aaron Brackett, KGUN-9 on your side.
Aaron, we live in a society where social media plays a big role in passing along information. Did the sheriff's office have anything to say on any of their social media pages?
Yeah, actually at about 1 a.m. early this morning, they did release the information surrounding the accident. And since then, I recently checked their Facebook page. Over 150 folks from around the community have offered their condolences on their Facebook page. Jennifer.
Aaron, thank you.
Cochise County residents, colleagues, and constituents of Larry Deaver are reacting to his death. We continue team coverage with Alexis Fernandez live in Bisbee. Alexis.
Well, Jennifer and guys, you can imagine the town of Bisbee is still in shock over the death of their county sheriff, and many say that in the years to come there will surely be a void. Compassionate and highly respected, that is how some locals here in Bisbee describe Sheriff Deaver. Bisbee council member Ransom Burke worked with him for 2 years.
It was a great sense of loss and a sadness, irreplaceable sadness.
He says the news of his passing still seems surreal.
I found Sheriff Deaver to be one of the most complete peace officers I ever knew, both from his history and from his demeanor.
As we talk to more locals, the sentiment seemed to echo.
It seems like everyone thought pretty highly of him, you know, and he thought he was fair.
Sheriff Deaver was a very conscientious person, and he took a great interest in the community.
Many described him as a man who cared about his county and had no fear taking a stand on controversial issues, which include immigration reform.
And I always felt that Sheriff Deaver was one of the good guys. I know how difficult a job it is to be a sheriff.
Business owner Barbara Taylor says now that he's gone, his big shoes are going to be hard to fill.
He was always one of the most human sheriffs that we've ever had, that I've ever had the opportunity to be in a community that he served.
And we were also told by Councilmember Burke that a lot of the law enforcement officials here really felt safe because of Sheriff Deaver. Reporting from Bisbee, Alexis Fernandez, KGUN-9 on your side.
Alexis, if anybody wants to help out in some way, what could they do?
Well, Guy, the family has asked that instead of donating flowers to them, they're asking anyone to make any type of donations to the Cochise County Search and Rescue.
All right, Alexis, thank you. As we heard at the top of the newscast, Cochise County Chief Deputy Rodney Rothrock will act as sheriff in the meantime. That's according to the statute. The County Board of Supervisors appoints a person of the same political party as the person vacating the office to fill the office until the next general election. The person who is elected at the next general election shall fill the remainder of the unexpired term of office. Chief Deputy Rodney Rothrock is taking over.
Lots of reaction today from the law enforcement community, including from Santa Cruz County Sheriff Tony Estrada.
This is a terrible loss. He was a true professional. This was an individual that was well known, he was well liked, and he was very well respected, not only through the state of Arizona, but across the nation. He was a very active, knowledgeable, and passionate individual on border issues, drugs and illegal immigration, and definitely a great ambassador for law enforcement for all the sheriffs here in Arizona. He was an eloquent speaker, obviously bilingual. You know, I consider him a friend, and we spoke often on federal issues, you know, on the issues along the border here, the role of the federal government. We didn't always agree on something, but we had great respect for each other, and I would tap into him for some of his advice and experience. So he will be missed. He will be very, very difficult to replace. And, you know, our sincere condolences to his family and the fine men and women of the Cochise County Sheriff's Office, and may he rest in peace. A great friend, a great loss.
Pima County Sheriff Clarence Dupnick said he was shocked to learn of Larry Deaver's death.
He was just a superb individual, as well as a superb law enforcement officer. He did so much for that organization all of his life. He's one of the experts on border enforcement all along the border, a national figure as well. He's just a great guy, and I don't know how they're going to fill his boots.
Pinal County Sheriff Paul Babu said, quote, "I'm shocked and saddened to hear of Larry Deaver's death. He was my friend, a leader on border security, and leader among sheriffs. This is a great loss to Arizona. A true patriot has died, and he will be sorely missed." Governor Jan Brewer issued this statement today, quote, "I had known Sheriff Deaver for well over a decade, stretching back to my days with the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. I'll remember him in his cowboy hat, soft-spoken and unfailingly polite, but firm in his beliefs and steady in his service to the law. In the truest sense, Sheriff Deaver was a Western lawman and country gentleman." In honor of Sheriff Larry